Hey guys, today I'm gonna be covering the Microsoft stock and my Microsoft investment thesis. Give you information so that you can have access to the influx of information that came in because, as you know, markets are efficient. Every single information is traded in time. Uh, like at the time that the information comes out, it's pretty much already traded by that, and so you have to understand like that and try to position yourself within a stock. Now with Microsoft, I bought in at an average price of 390 about 3 months ago, and currently it's at 386. It went up to like four in the high 500s, 400 sorry, and it's currently trading in the low 23 of PE, market cap of 295 for a peak of 561, I think. P ratio of around 36 range at the peak. Even it's been higher than that before, but in the last couple of years. And um, market cap was at around 385 trillion by then. So when it comes to Microsoft, I'm very bullish on this position because it's well, I'll explain the whole thesis. So essentially, you have the cloud, which is the big chunk of their revenue. In their last quarter, they reported for 32.9 billion, and cloud was 54.7, I think, but around 55 billion. Let's just so it's a big chunk. It's about 60% of their earnings, if I'm making that math right-ish, or over 60%, I think. Yeah. So it's way over 60. It's almost 70%, if not. But essentially, their platform, Azure, grew, which is like their competitor to AWS, the Oracle platform, and Google Cloud, and that grew 40% year over year. So you're talking about a position where even just that part of it makes it at the current P ratio. It's a $1 trillion company, and it's grew 40% year over year. Okay, so think about that. Think about the next couple of years with the whole AI data center build out, and which is also something I'll address as a part of my thesis. But essentially, MSFT is in this position where right now the market, it seems that it hasn't calculated, and that's terrible thing to believe. Don't believe that the market has calculated everything. It's just that like it will go up as the market goes up. In the like before the past 3 months or so, its beta was below the market. It was 0.87, something like that when I bought in. Which is not a metric I really look at because I buy with fundamentals. But now it's at 110, okay, which means it's more volatile than the market as a general rule. Now, when it comes to MSFT with their Azure platform, which has grown a lot, there was a like one of the influx of information is because they cut 200 to 400 between 2 and 400 jobs in China, which was like a reallocation of people. They've offered them like jobs in Canada like to move to Canada. The problem is that it's very hard for people to move, but as like with work visas and stuff, they could have. It's just it wasn't in that like it wasn't like a complete job cut. It's essentially just for the on the China market. They've kind of like restructured there for their cloud. Now, another reason why it dropped is just because Oracle also dropped. Oracle dropped tremendously at earnings because Oracle is a company that is doing the same thing, same build out of data centers as MSFT and Amazon and all of those. The big problem is that it's taking on a ridiculous amount of debt. I don't want to touch it. At 36p ratio with the huge debt that it has, I do not touch Oracle as a value investor. But Microsoft, who's doing it with phenomenal balance sheet and free cash flow, okay, you can look that up yourself. Just look at the amount of debt that they have on their free cash on their balance sheet compared to the amount of invested cash and such. Okay, I would recommend you learn how to look at a balance sheet if you're interested in investing and such, and you're getting into it. I think that's interesting. Just the absolute basics. Okay, and when it comes to their free cash flow, it's also phenomenal. Now their capex, that's what I think. Like their capex, they're not taking on ludicrous amount of debt, and so whatever, if this whole build out was a fugazi, and it like, oh, it doesn't pan out because the amount of people that they serve, which is Claude, OpenAI, and all of like Anthropic, OpenAI, and a couple others, but they're like 80% of their revenue and they're not profitable and everything goes bad. They have $100 billion investment in OpenAI, which is like, and that's like a super bear thesis. Microsoft will be fine at the end of the day. It's like their cloud is not only intelligent cloud, that's a big chunk, but they'd still be okay. They'd still survive. Their cloud grows overall. Their overall cloud grew up 18%. Meanwhile, Azure grew up 40%. But that means there's still been growth on the other side of overall their cloud grew. And so you have that. Then you also have they have the best software solution that's ever existed. Now, not necessarily for monetization, but it's so omnipresent that there's no company that doesn't work with the Office suite. I've seen there's a guy I follow, it's called Varun, where he does these like stock breakdown more so in the software space. And he said that he literally sold the software to Google, and like Google was using the Office suite instead of like the Google suite, which is insane. Like PowerPoint, Excel, Word, Outlook. You have OneNote. You have Access as well, which is for like database. You have such a strong community of recruitment of software that are fundamental to business, and now they've added Copilot to it, which works with the computing of OpenAI essentially. Well, not essentially, it literally does. Like they use the OpenAI. So as OpenAI grows, this will grow too, and in terms of like ability to process and information, and like to complete tasks in a business environment. And they do like a crazy upsell when it comes to business with Copilot. That's like a big thing that's been added to their software solutions, which is like you're able to have AI agents that work as like Copilots. You can have Copilot like specific agents that do tasks within the Microsoft software. And so you look at PowerPoint, for example. Recently, there was an influx of information that came in about this, and it's that Microsoft uses, and Microsoft like users of like Outlook, PowerPoint, Excel, Word, they use Copilot, and respectively in each. Now I don't have the specific numbers, but it's like 36, 40, 33, 30% that use more and more, like in terms of growth of how much has been used for the Copilot within. So you have the ability to open like a little Copilot page in Excel. So it's like a part when you look at like it's an option. You just click it and you have access to it. You can like ask it to help you with formulas in Excel and such, and to build PowerPoints, and to build this, and to write this, and to correct your text and all of that. So it's really grown in terms of usage. It's kind of like the first AI agent kind of solution within it. They also have Claude in the Microsoft solution, but with that, it comes to a point where Microsoft software solutions, which software have been dropping with AI, but with Microsoft, they've put themselves in like the perfect way to be the stickiest software. Bro, what the fuck is that, man? What is this? There's no way for them to disappear with AI. Like, AI are gonna accomplish tasks within Excel, PowerPoint, Word, all of that. This is the standard of business. Like, consulting firms, the standard business practice is to build up PowerPoint in a corporate space. It's like PowerPoint of this, of that, analysis of that, the business for stock. It's the same thing. Like, you present position, present allocations and all of that, and you do PowerPoint of it. You build these, like, with formulas, you build these Excel thing. There's no, like, you're not going to build solutions outside of that you're going to use, that is not a standardized, like, it has to be standardized. That's one of the big part of business, or like it's military. Like, it is standardized. You don't build like something, how can I say that? Like, you don't, if you work, okay, and you have a presentation to do, you do it on PowerPoint. You don't show up and, like, I don't know, go on like the Google thing. Oh no, it's a Google Doc I did. Yo, no one does that. And even Google Doc, it would be like the same thing, but it's like, you don't use other tool than those two, let's say. Like, maybe some companies use the Google Doc, but it's not standardized, because if you do business to business and you go to another business, they have to also be able to open the same files and such, and people just have the standard version, the less, like, the basic standard industry one is PowerPoint, and that's going to keep going. There's no way it's not going to be the case. And if you want AI, like, let's say, dude, in a future where it's like 2035 and people are using like other people are using, like, dude, there's like one manager, 30 AI agents, and there's no one, like, in this like dystopian future, right? Like, to present the information to the human manager that like manage this whole thing, they'll still do PowerPoint, you know? That's how sticky it is. That's how sticky like the Microsoft software solution is. It's the best. Now they can upsell crazy with Copilot, because of the AI agent and such. Like, for me, I work at a financial institution in Canada. We still don't have the premium access to. We don't have access to the premium version of Copilot, like the AI business solution of it. And so, but we're already integrating it into our activities to a certain extent. And so it's one of those things where it's just gonna keep growing. They have SharePoint, which is like an on web solution for business, and they put like influx of information about the business. Oh, there's this meeting with our ed economist for like a bank. That's the one that we have, and that's the one I had when I worked at another bank in 2021 too. And it still hasn't grown. It's still the same thing, because they build fantastic software. That's just it. Their solutions are better. They're able to sell more because of the Copilot solution. They have an ability to like increase pricing and such. Their cloud revenue has grown 40% year over year, and that's like overall it's grown. Like, Azure platform in intelligent cloud, which is about a $35 billion part of the 54% revenue. It's like if it keeps growing like that, then at the current valuation that it has, if it grows close to that next quarter, let's say it grows like it grew 39 in adjusted currency, like 40. If it grows like another 40 or something like that, you're talking about a platform that by itself is like already a lot more than a $30 billion, $1 trillion company. It's pretty much the size of Meta just with Acer, which is insane. Also insane for Meta, because Meta is also ridiculously cheap right now. It's I did a video on Meta as well if you want to look, and it's only dropped since. It's dropped by it was like under 580, and now it's under like 60, under 560. So it's ridiculous. These Mag 7 stocks, like, you don't have to look far. You don't have to be you don't have to search for like these penny stocks and stuff to have great exposure to the market and to have great return right now. Meta, MSFT are like such a gorgeous combination of holdings that I have. They're personally almost 1/5 of my portfolio. Not each, as a group. I have more Meta, but I'm thinking of buying in more MSFT when I have the opportunity to. The thing is that right now in a market that drops, I'm not going to reallocate capital with losses that I have, especially not in my TFSA, right? Because I don't capture like the tax benefits of it. So all of these positions that I have are thesis based, and so I'm not gonna let them go. Okay, that's just it. So that's pretty much the thesis I have. Here's my basic thesis, is that if Microsoft doesn't capture all these data center growth and these contractual renewal that they have, they're still already worth what you're getting what you're paying for. Everything else is absolute upside from that. Like, there's no reason to for a stock with that level of growth in their cloud as a almost mature company with phenomenal free cash flow to be trading at 23. I think it should be right now in this current position. If the market was like not super scared and like super irrational in a weird way, which is like the market can stay irrational longer than you stay solvable, right? So you have to be careful with that thought. But the big thing is Microsoft could be right now, it would be 29 of P ratio, and it would make sense. It would be a holding that makes sense, especially when you compare it to Google, who have earnings which are also based in their investment earnings, which are one time. So if you look at that last, I think they did have 72% growth in cloud, which is phenomenal, but it's not as cheap. It's at 25. Microsoft's at 23. But that includes the investment earnings, which were one-time situations where that happened to grow this way. So if you had real earnings, it's a lot more expensive than Microsoft is in real earnings, like recurrent earnings. Or more so consistent recurrent earnings, I guess. Because they'll still have these investment situations, but it's just not in the same level of exponentials. So I would go, that's what I think. That's my thesis. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. I hope you like these videos. I'm going to start, at a certain point, I'm going to I have to pull the trigger on buying Fiscal AI or a tool like that, where I can use it to promote these to make these videos more visual. But right now I just sit in front of the computer and start talking about these stocks and let my thoughts flow. That's the way I go about it. And let me know if you guys like it. And until next time.